Welcome into the Michigan Football Report. It is game day, game week again. After a Michigan football bye week on October 27th, the Wolverines will host the top 15 ranked resurging Penn State Nittany Lions, a team that absolutely blew Michigan out in Happy Valley last year. That game is Saturday in the Big House, the old split day game, night game, 3:45 Eastern. Should be dark around the fourth quarter or so in that game. So with that being said, not as many rumors. I know people love the rumor segments on this show. Going to recap for you, which was a bye week filled with recruiting news, and see how that plays into this weekend against Penn State. So let's take a look at that. Again, I don't know if I said it or not, I am James Yoder, the face of Michigan football media. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. And if you do, you might get information on this guy, Quavaris Crouch. He is a 5-star from ACC, maybe a little bit SEC country, from the state of North Carolina. He has visited Michigan in the past. He was actually a visitor as a junior last year in 2017. As of now, expected to reschedule his official visit. You only get 5 of them to Michigan this weekend for Michigan's game against Penn State to see the number 5 Wolverines take on the Nittany Lions. Take a look at this tweet from a local writer in the state of North Carolina, Charlotte. He says, this is what Crouch said to this man, Orion, saying, I would say Michigan's number 1, but the weather is crazy, Crouch said. I feel like Michigan and Clemson are tied for number 1. So what does that mean? I find it very tactical on Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan football recruiting staff's part that they canceled his visit a few weeks back he was going to come in for the Wisconsin game. Very nice game if you were there to watch. 48, 50 degrees, nice weather under the lights there. Actually give him a little bit of taste of what some November weather will be like in the state of Michigan, because if he doesn't get a taste of that, comes and it's getting snowed out for 3 months, he might just get homesick saying these things about weather and ultimately transfer. So Quavaris Crouch says Michigan and Clemson are tied for number 1. Now, the recruiting pundits are going to tell you Clemson probably still leads for him. It's going to be very surprising if he does not end up at Clemson. He visited Florida State this weekend to watch them take on Clemson. Clemson with the biggest win in the history of their program in Tallahassee, a 49-point victory over the Seminoles. They're just a disaster at this point under first-year coach Willie Taggart. Clemson drops a 59-10 blowout on them. So will Quavaris Crouch, the number 1 rated athlete, not really sure if he's going to play running back or linebacker. I think if he ends up at Michigan, it's because his preferences on the defensive side. A lot of schools have said that they prefer him at running back, where he really made his name as a recruit, but he said he actually wants to play defense because he has a longer shelf life in college and into the NFL. Upcoming visits, November 17th, 3 weeks now, against Clemson, 2.5 weeks, and then he will take a visit in early December after the season's over at Alabama. So that is the competition there. Quavaris Crouch will be, unless something changes, in Ann Arbor this Saturday night. Let's see what happens there. Let's take a look, though, at the sports coat that I am wearing. If you've been watching the show, you see how classy James Yoder, the face of Michigan football media, looks. I'm also the guy who may be the best dressed in Michigan football media. It's because of Reveal Suits. These coats are not yet available. Take a look at this. It's maize in blue. I'm going to stretch out so you see on that side. Stretch out so you see on that side. You flip up with the cup. It's all maize and blue. If you walk into a meeting with some Penn State grads next week after Michigan gets the victory in Ann Arbor, you will own the room. Reveal Suits is giving you $100 off just because you watch this show if you email them. We've only got a few more days until they're on sale to the public, and everybody's got to pay full price from there. Let's talk about quarterback recruiting. Michigan has a stocked quarterback room as of now, but things could change with potentially early enrollees to the NFL draft, maybe potential transfers, which we've talked about in the past. Harrison Bailey, he visited a few weeks back, October 6th versus Maryland, saw a big-time Michigan victory from the state of Georgia. Top 100 player. Some services, pundits say, hey, he could be a top 25 5-star player by the time he is a senior. Jim Harbaugh was at his high school Friday night visiting him. Actually, Bailey got hurt in that game, so still waiting on status on that. But if he commits to Michigan, he'll be one of the bigger quarterback recruits they have gotten, and he will come to a potentially stacked quarterback room. So if everything remains the same, no one transfers out, every quarterback plays out their eligibility, this is what the quarterback depth chart will look like that Bailey will be coming into if he commits. You've got Brandon Peters, at the time will be a 5th-year senior. I personally do not expect him to be on campus in 2020, but if he sticks to the Michigan football program, he will be a 5th year. Dylan McCaffrey will be a fourth-year redshirt junior, kind of 2 years to start should Shea Patterson return for the 2019 season. Joe Milton will be either a junior or a redshirt sophomore. We're not sure if he's going to play in more than 4 games. As of now, he is not, so he could still redshirt this season, although he has been in a couple games. And then Cade McNamara, who just broke the Nevada record for most touchdown passes in a high school career this past Friday night. Cade McNamara is coming from Reno, Nevada to Michigan as their big-time quarterback recruit in the 2019 class. So Harrison Bailey, this is what we're going to be looking at. He could potentially visit very soon, maybe even this weekend against Penn State, although I'm not sure if that is confirmed yet. Jim Harbaugh visits him. I think is highly, highly, highly likely this will be the quarterback they get to commit from a top 50 player out of the state of Georgia coming north to play for Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. Speaking of 2020 recruits, the number 1 player in 2020 has Michigan's eye and is really considering the Wolverines. His name is Bryan Bresee, out of the state of Maryland. Has seen Michigan beat up on the Terps last few years, has been considered maybe an Ohio State lean for a lot of people, and Georgia is all over him, but Michigan is making their claim for his services, and certainly with the way the Michigan defense has been playing the last 3 seasons under Don Brown and even before that under DJ Durkin, you could make an argument that they are going to develop Bresee better than any of these other schools that he's looking at. It's whether or not he wants to come to the University of Michigan. I think that Bosa leaving Ohio State early is not a good thing for their chances. Doesn't necessarily speak well to the team continuity that they bring there at Ohio State. And Jim Harbaugh's got to be looking, hey, we're about to have the best defense college football has seen in the past 7-8 years at the University of Michigan as far as total yards is concerned. One of the top 2 or 3 in the past 20 years for total yards. That's what really total defense is. Could Michigan land for the second time in 5 years with Bresee, the number 1 player in America? He's pretty much the consensus number 1 in the player in America, like Rashawn Gary was in 2016. Wait and see, but Jim Harbaugh is leaving no stone unturned pursuing this player. And with that being said, I want to ask you what your thoughts are on Jim Harbaugh's recruiting in his 4 seasons, 3 years and 8 games at the University of Michigan. Go ahead and grade him in the comments below on Michigan Wolverines by Chat Sports Facebook Live or the Chat Sports YouTube channel. Grade Jim Harbaugh's recruiting so far, A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to go ahead and give him a B+ personally. Should they land Crouch or a couple other players we're going to talk about here throughout the show and end up with 4 5-stars in the 2018 class, get a guy, 2019 class, get a guy like Bresee or some others, Harrison Bailey, he could be trending towards an A after this recruiting cycle. So go ahead and comment below, A, B, C, D, E, or F. How would you grade Jim Harbaugh's recruiting prowess as Michigan's head coach? A man I've talked about several times on this show before is Eric Gray, committed to Michigan in July. Very surprised commitment because Michigan actually wasn't pushing for him to commit in any way, and he's been rumored for the past couple weeks to be a decommitment. He's visited Ole Miss. He lives right near Tennessee. Ole Miss only maybe a couple hours away. He's from Memphis. A lot of chatter that he is going to decommit, but Jim Harbaugh is not giving up on him. He's going to be an all-purpose back. Gray is, along with Zach Charbonnet from the state of California. Michigan have a dynamic 1-2 combo from running backs, 2 top 100-ish guys coming in next season. Will Gray stick with the Wolverines? I think it is to be determined. If he does, Michigan will have a great chance of moving into the top 5 or 6 in the recruiting rankings. We see the top 10 2019 class right now. Alabama leading the way, number 1. A&M's number 2, Oregon, Georgia, Clemson, flip over to the bottom half of the top 10, Oklahoma, Texas, LSU, Michigan, and Florida State. If the Wolverines land another 5-star, if they hold on to guys like Gray and potentially some other players that could look around as their senior season winds down, they could end up with a top 5, top 6 class. They're right on the heels of LSU and Texas to overtake them. Getting a player like Crouch, of course, would get him right up there in the 6-7 spot. If not, losing a player like Aaron Gray could knock him out of the top 10, potentially. So we will see what's going on there. Jim Harbaugh visited him this past Friday night. He probably has a good understanding of where Gray's loyalties lie, but Gray did recently discuss with a recruiting reporter that he's going to go into December 19th signing day. He's going to wake up like he's uncommitted. So it doesn't seem likely that he is committed to Michigan as far as how he's thinking right now. He's going to wake up on signing day, make a decision. Michigan's got to hold on to this guy if they want to stay inside the top 10. That is the 2019 recruiting rankings and how Eric Gray plays into them. I want to give you guys the opportunity to get a free Michigan football game day, the official game day dry fit shirt from Jordan Brand. It is very simple. If you've watched the show before, we've been hooking people up left and right. It is college football, it is NFL season, it's NBA season, Major League Baseball just ended, and you gotta be betting on sports. If you do it with BetDSI, use promo code GOBLUE at chatsports.com/bet. All you gotta do is deposit, make your first bet on any game. It could be Michigan Penn State this week. You're gonna put a little money on the Wolverines, and then you gotta DM me on Twitter. I'll ask you for a few pieces of information, and this shirt will be on its way to you within a couple of days. No prize if you're one of the 20 people that do it. We'll pick one. Everybody does it gets one. No questions asked if you are a new user with BetDSI. If you've already signed up with them though, hit me in the DMs. Maybe we could hook you up with a little referral credit to send us a friend or two. Maybe we can still get you one of these bad boys. So if you've already signed up, don't worry, hit me up. We might have some referral action going on. Let's stick with recruiting, stick with the 2019 class. 4-star defensive end, defensive tackle, some people have called him, George Karlaftis. He is committed to Purdue. He is a European immigrant in the past 5 or 6 years. He came over with his parents. He lives in West Lafayette, Indiana, and given that his family doesn't have a bunch of relatives here, the word is that he's probably going to stick with this Purdue commitment because he wants to stay close to his parents, who are really the only family he has in the United States. His brother, his younger brother, also a big-time recruit as an underclassman. Will Michigan have an opportunity to steal him away from Purdue? Michigan's defensive line coach, Greg MATTISON, was in West Lafayette this past weekend visiting with him, trying to show him what his future looks like if he comes to the University of Michigan, obviously with Purdue losing on the road at Michigan State. That future looks a little rosier in Ann Arbor. The defensive numbers that guys like Chase Winovich, Devin Bush, obviously as a linebacker, and some others are putting up is a lot better story than what Purdue's doing on defense as of late. Even under Jeff Brown, who's a much better coach than anything they've had lately. Could Michigan steal the best recruit Purdue's got in a number of years right out of his hometown, West Lafayette, Indiana? Greg MATTISON, probably Michigan's best recruiter, historically and even currently. He's in his mid to late 60s right now. Can he pull him away? One to keep an eye out. If Michigan gets him to come to Ann Arbor again throughout the rest of this fall for a visit, I think that spells it's very likely, it's a good thing basically. I'm trying to say something that I'm losing my words there, but very likely if he makes a visit that he is really considering Michigan. There's a lot of just rumors out there that he's looking at Ohio State, he's looking at Notre Dame, looking at Michigan, that he could be pulled away from the Boilermakers. Committed to Purdue over a year ago as a high school junior, October 7th, 2017. Let's kick it to the 2020 class. The state of Michigan has one of the best players in the 2020 class, a guy I think is an absolute must-get for Michigan, but the pundits and the recruiting guys think that it's a Georgia or a Clemson versus Ohio State battle, and Michigan has no chance, but he really liked what he saw in a recent visit with the University of Michigan with some of the coaches, and he is going to visit for the Penn State game coming up. The man's name is Justin Rogers, out of the state of Michigan, as I said, and he is a 5-star offensive lineman. Now, I'm going to look at his crystal ball on the recruiting rankings. 24/7. They've got Ohio State. 76% of the crystal balls have come in for him to go to the Buckeyes. 24% for him to go to Georgia out of Oak Park, Michigan. That would be a really bad thing, given that Michigan's best offensive lineman in the state this year, a top 25 player, a 5-star, is headed out of state also, going to Wisconsin. To lose back-to-back years the best lineman in the state who's a 5-star would be a blow to Michigan football's recruiting stature, especially in the state and in the Midwest. So keep an eye out. Justin Rogers, 2020 offensive lineman, 5-star. A lot of people say he's going to Ohio State, visiting this Saturday in an unofficial capacity when Michigan takes on Penn State. That is one I am keeping a major eye on. Him and Harrison Bailey are the ones that for 2020 really want to get those guys on the offensive side of the ball. Take a look at these 2020 recruiting rankings. Michigan is off to a pretty decent start so far with a handful of committed players for the 2020, the junior class. Miami's off to a really good start. Of course, Alabama, Ohio State making their name known in 2020. They're off to a great start, number 3. Flip it over to the bottom half of the top 10. You've got Texas A&M, Florida State, and there is Michigan right in that 8-9 range like they are for the 2019 class. number 8 for the 2020 class. Good start now. It's only, October 29th, October 30th time frame of the junior year, a lot of these guys. So plenty of time, probably 16, 17 months till they'll be on till February signing day, or I guess they'll be do some math, 14 months until they can sign December if they're an early signee of their senior year. So those are the top 10 classes for the 2020 class. Let's kick it back to 2019. We're jumping around. This is kind of an order of importance show. Jalen Perry, I don't think he's coming to Michigan personally, but Chris Partridge headed down to the state of Georgia, where Michigan has had a ton of success, and visited him this past weekend. Watch his game on Friday night. He visited for the Wisconsin game, got all the Michigan atmosphere under the lights, a big-time victory over a top 15 program. Michigan grabbed a top 100, top 150 cornerback out of Georgia last year, so this is not unprecedented. Could Michigan grab Jalen Perry out of the state of Georgia? Well, Chris Partridge, great recruiter, him and Greg Madison, potentially the best two on the staff, was in Georgia this past weekend. Visited him, got some good vibes apparently. He just came off an official. They followed up. If they grabbed him, big time commit, but I think it is very unlikely. I don't know too many of the pundits and scribes that are predicting that Perry comes to Michigan, but you never know when it comes to Jim Harbaugh and the recruiting prowess of this Michigan football staff. So Jalen Perry got the visit from Chris Partridge, and they are going to push hard for him to commit to the Wolverines. Michigan is facing Penn State this Saturday, 3:45 Eastern kickoff, and I want to give you the opportunity to win 25 bones straight cash, homie, on my pocket, my Reveal Suits pocket. I'll pull it out of here, give it to you, Venmo, check, whatever you want, you'll get it. But you got to pick the score of the Penn State game correctly. You got to do it before kickoff, and you'll be the first one to give me that score, because if I got 10 people who pick the same score, the first one who sends it gets the tiebreaker. Over 1,000 people have predicted the score this year. Of Michigan's 8 games, 0 people have predicted the score right, which is kind of mind-boggling to me. And if you think you can pick the score, you might as well head over to BetDSI and put some money on it. You saw the promo. We're giving away the Jordan Dry Fit jerseys. Want to make sure you have the website and the promo code chatsports.com/bet. Promo code GOBLUE, 120% deposit bonus you can use in the sportsbook or the casino. And if you do it, DM me on Twitter, and we will send you one of these official Michigan Jordan brand game day dry fit shirts. I put one of these things on. It feels amazing. It is one of the best shirts I have owned. Sign up, use the promo code, deposit, place your first bet, DM me on Twitter, and we'll get you hooked up in a matter of days. It'll be en route to your home from BetDSI and Chat Sports. Jim Harbaugh making some news, making some noise on Twitter, has been very quiet of late, but did put out a video about the new Michigan football Schembechler Hall renovations, which are getting ready to open up fully. They already opened up the weight room, but open up fully in February, right after signing day. Includes weight room, medical facilities, a nice lounge, and more. It's about a $15 million upgrade. This is what Harbaugh said on Twitter here. He says, we had a great opportunity to see the progress and renovation of Schembechler Hall, yada, yada, yada. February 29th is when it's opening. Hashtag the Michigan difference. Let's take a look at this. Kind of, I don't know if it's a cartoon video. It's not actual video of the place. It's more of a what's the word, Landon? Just show the video. Let's just go to the video. I'll tell you. You tell me what it means. And there you have it. The new Schembechler Hall going to open up in about 4 months. You saw some interesting stuff there. Cool player lounges and pools and weight center. How about that half-court basketball hoop right in the middle of the facility with a chain link fence around it? I don't know. I guess that's what the kids are looking for these days. Where will Michigan be ranked in the college football playoff first official rankings that come out Tuesday night? If you want to find out, will they be in the top 4 already, even without LSU or Alabama losing? You can find out right here on Chat Sports Facebook Live, facebook.com/ we're doing a college football in Maine, Lane. I can't remember. Maine, facebook.com/Chat Sports, or the Chat Sports YouTube channel. We have it live there. I think we're going to put it on Periscope at Chat Sports as well, so you can follow along on Twitter. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Get with us. We're going to have all kinds of analysis breaking down the CFP and where Michigan fits in the college football playoff rankings. I want to tell you one more time about Reveal Suits. This is the coat that every Michigan fan is just wanting to get, is begging to get, but they're not on sale yet. And we are the only place you can get $100 off. There's only a few days left. So email them, info@revealsuits.com. Just say, I want the coat that James Yoder is wearing in the Michigan Football Report, or just say, I want the Michigan coat. What do I got to do? And you lock in the $100 off. Don't wait until they're on sale, because then you got to pay full price. Reveal Suits, info@revealsuits.com. The shirt provided by Mizzen in Maine. Go ahead and get one at comfortable.af. Performance fabric shirts. These shirts are comfortable as F. Let's take a look at Michigan versus Penn State. Michigan is an 11-point favorite versus the Nittany Lions. Both teams doing pretty good against the spread. If you were betting on just these two teams, you'd have a 10-6 record on the year. That's pretty good in the gambling records. 5-3 versus spread for both of them. Penn State, the only second time they've been an underdog all year. They lost to Ohio State by 1 point, but covered the 3.5-point spread at home. Second straight home game, Michigan has been a 10-point favorite versus a ranked team. I could not even fathom, I'll have to go back and look at this, when the last time that happened that Michigan has been a 10-point, a 2-score or more favorite versus a ranked team. The final number versus Wisconsin is right around there at 10, and right now Penn State is 11. The number 5 ranked 7-1 Wolverines will host a top 15 Nittany Lions team that is 6-2 on the year. Lost a couple games. There's a big-time top 20 win versus Iowa this past Saturday. If you want to bet on the game, make sure you do it at BetDSI, our gambling partner. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code GoBlue. If you go there and you bet with them, you make your first bet, you got to DM me on Twitter, and we will give you one of these Michigan football Jordan Brand Game Day Dry Fit shirts. They are super comfortable, super warm. They've got the Michigan across the front, the Block M, the Jordan logo up top, so you're not one of these schmucks walking around with an Adidas shirt 3 years later. Deposit at BetDSI, place your first bet, DM me on Twitter, and we will send one your ways. No questions asked as long as you are a new user with BetDSI. If you've got them already, you're already betting, hit me up. I'll tell you about our referral program. Maybe give you the opportunity to get one of the shirts yourselves and one of your buddies. How about Ohio State coach Urban Meyer? This is just breaking news here on early Monday afternoon. Urban Meyer said at his press conference today that he will return in 2019 as Ohio State's coach. His 7th year as the Ohio State head coach. This year is 6-0 versus Michigan, 1 national title in 2014 with the Buckeyes, 2 at Florida State for 3 total. He also won in 2006 and 2008 with Florida. 2 Big Ten titles, which actually is kind of surprising given his dominance, a 50-4 conference record. Of course, his first year, they were not eligible for the title. 2013, they lost the Big Ten championship game to Michigan State. So he's had other opportunities, only 2 Big Ten titles. Here is Urban Meyer today talking to the media about his future.
Urban, I've seen some people in the media opine that you could retire after this season. I'm sure if that's not true, you would like to respond to that. Just what is your response when you hear things like that?
I plan on coaching.
You plan on coaching?
Yes.
You say for sure you'll be back next year at Ohio State?
So there you have it. Urban Meyer, not looking very energized these days, is he? But he says he will return for 2019. Is Urban Meyer a man of his word? We will see. We will see Buckeyes fans that are watching the show to get some inside info on Michigan. Urban Meyer says he will return next year when asked at his press conference. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Chat Sports Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and the Chat Sports Twitter account will be streaming on Periscope. You can get the college football rankings directly from us. Don't have to sit in front of a TV all night and get the rankings. Chat Sports brings you the only place to get it on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and live on Twitter. that is where it is, and I hope you tune in. My name is James Yoder, the face of Michigan football media.